At the end of April and beginning of May 2024, I went hiking, backpacking, sleeping in a tent for a week in Nordmarka, a little bit north of Oslo, Norway, together with my son. It was pretty much the first time for us to do something like that, and even though we had prepared quite well, I was very curious about a couple of things. Number one, would it be too strainful for me? Number two, how difficult would it be to hike in Nordmarken at this time of the year? And number three, how cold would it be? That was my biggest worry, to be honest, and specifically, how cold would it be in the middle of the night? I think this video can be interesting to watch if you are planning to do something similar in Nordmarken, or if you just want to learn from other people, hiking for the first time, tips and tricks. I watched a lot of videos before I planned this trip and learned a lot from that. So I think it's really valuable to watch other people hiking and backpacking before you do it yourself. And finally, it could also be interesting for people who just want to watch nature and people being out in the nature, enjoying themselves and discovering what's out there. We started out in a village called Rotnes, and we parked our rental car at Sørli parking and started to move stuff from our suitcases into our backpacks. And then we started to hike up, up, up for the next 3 kilometers. And we realized there was still a lot of snow laying around, even more the higher up we got. And when we got to our lunch place, Ørfiske Lake, we realized there was even a lot of ice on the lake. After a short lunch, we got going again. We had planned for that first day to be not so difficult, we thought, only 10 kilometers. We'd done 3, we had another 7 to go. But we realized pretty quickly that's going to be more strainful than what we thought. For example, hiking through the forest on the foot trail like this one, very wet, very muddy, a lot of snow. We moved very slowly. So we actually switched back to roads, forest roads. That was a little bit easier to walk on, but also meant we had to walk longer distances, not, on the shortest, straightest line through the forest. Yeah. To make it a little bit easier for ourselves, for the first night, we had actually booked a room in one of the huts of the TNT, the Norwegian Tourist Association. And after the last push of 300 meters up to the cabin, we finally arrived there. Much later than planned, but we did arrive. We settled down into our room and started to enjoy the very cozy cabin, and eventually had dinner and then went to bed, very tired but very satisfied. We woke up to snow. Not very surprising, having seen the forecast. It was also forecasted to become a little bit warmer, which would mean rain. Not a lot of rain, but we knew it's going to be a wet day. So we got hiking. We had decided not to take a longer, more perhaps scenic route to our next destination would be Kikut, but as short as possible, given the experience the day before. And that meant also hiking a lot through forest. We finally arrived at our destination, and this is the view from the Kikut Stua, the D&T hut there. It was closed as expected. It's only open in the summer season and the winter season, and we were obviously not in that season. This is the beautiful view of the Björnsjön. Finding a place to put up the tents were pretty difficult actually. Either the terrain was too steep or there was too much snow laying around. So eventually we ended up putting it up here. It's actually on a track of a ski trail during the winter. Obviously we didn't expect any skiers to come along here now. Af- After we had set up the tents, it was time for dinner, and we had standardized on these dry food bags, and this was really my favorite. Turmat from D&T together with Gilde. Pasta bolognese, really good. All their stuff was really good. I definitely gonna eat this the next time I'm going hiking as well. The way it works is that you cook water, boil water, and pour it in. Here you can see our boiler, a jet boil, a little bit to the right here. We really loved this equipment. I also seen many analysis and tests, and it seems to be using half the gas because it's twice as quick to get water to boil, and it worked really well for us. Regarding setting up the tent, this spot was definitely not perfect. The ground was so hard. I think they have made a ski trail with gravel and a lot of small stones, so we couldn't get the tent sticks into the ground. So what you do then, work with stones to anchor your ropes, like in this case. So we had a lot of these stones around our tent. This is inside my tent. It's a three-persons tent because that's what we had in the family. And I definitely would, if I were alone, at least have a two-persons tent. So it was a little bit more tent, probably half a kilo extra compared to a two-persons tent. I didn't mind carrying that around for the week. It worked out for me, and as I said, really enjoyed the extra space. Now it was forecasted to rain from 9 in the evening to 9 in the morning, so we made sure we were in our tents by 9. And what do you do then the whole time? Of course, you sleep and you rest a little bit, but hey, I downloaded a lot of films to watch on my iPhone, but when I started to watch them, I just fell asleep. I was just too exhausted to watch any movies, so we just stopped doing that. This was the end of part one. Come back for part two to see how we survived the night and our further adventures into the Nordmarka. Thank you.